Belarus may soon join Russia's attack. Meanwhile, as sanctions from both the U.S. and other allies go into effect, Russian President Vladimir Putin is set to meet with his finance ministers because their stock markets and currency have lost so much value over the last few days. And this morning, the U.S. State Department has closed the U.S. Embassy in Belarus and urged American diplomats in Russia to leave immediately. So a lot happening overseas this morning that we will continue to get to throughout our newscast. Thanks for joining us to start your work week. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Nicole Brady. The conflict between Ukraine and Russia is having an impact around the world, but we don't want to lose sight of people trying to escape the war-torn area. ABC's Matt Gutman has more.
This morning, the escape from Ukraine is going nowhere. Thousands packed into this tunnel beneath the Lviv railway station in western Ukraine. Closer to the Polish border and to safety, refugees dragging what they could, whipped by wind and snow. Traffic snarled for over 15 miles. The UN telling us at least 422,000 people have fled the violence so far. In the thick air of that train station, babies screaming, adults shouting. And a railway spokesperson telling us that every hour, 5,000 to 10,000 more people arrive.
And this is absolute chaos.
There is no scheduled train. There is no information about some clear train.
So Juliana,
they're just in line for some possible, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow morning, maybe in 2 days.
In the meantime, they wait. Young and old scurrying over the tracks, clutching hands. Ukrainian men of fighting age are banned from leaving the country, which is why Marina was on the platform preparing to part from her husband Sergei.
Nothing can scare me more.
nothing can scare you more than what's already happening.
No.
Every few minutes, the crowd would rise and bolt. A train and another false alarm. This train is going to Kyiv.
Yeah, only women and child.
Caught in limbo, African and Middle Eastern immigrants, these men telling us they believe they've been discriminated against, waiting for their turn to board a train since Friday, and their turn hasn't come.
They treat us at times like trash. You understand? And they look at you with your color, they judge you.
And everywhere, those goodbyes. This mother smoothing her son's jacket, weeping through her mask, unsure when or if she'd see her son again.
We're talking about what is likely the biggest number of people displaced in the shortest amount of time since World War II. This is track 5, where people tried to leave from Poland, but I want you to see what's waiting in this tunnel. This stretches back about 100 yards in that direction. Women and children, all of them desperate to leave Ukraine. Matt Gutman, ABC News, Lviv, Ukraine.
Meanwhile, over the weekend, Coloradans rallied for Ukraine on the steps of our state capitol. Denver 7 spoke to a woman who has family and close friends there. She says her hometown is being hit by bombs and Russian tanks, and her loved ones are now underground in shelters to stay safe.
It's getting worse over there as well because Russian military tanks were placed there yesterday, and they're just hiding behind civilians because it's a town, and Ukrainian army won't be attacking because there are civilians.
Maria told us she spoke with her family over the weekend. They are, of course, scared, but they are okay right now. She does take comfort that people from around the world are standing up in solidarity with Ukraine.
Back here in Denver, it will be a clear and warm day as we take a live look at Civic Center Park. There is more nice weather headed this way throughout the week, Katie.
Yes, we are in for a very spring-like week ahead with dry conditions and temperatures returning to the 60s and even low 70s. Sun is peeking through the clouds over Civic Center Park. We'll see clearing skies statewide over the next couple of hours. A beautiful look from our camera there in Westminster looking out to the west. You can see that cloud coverage over just the southern portions of the metro area extending south across the plains, and in terms of our temperatures, it's not as cold as what we've seen over the past couple of mornings. We're now in the 40s over Arvada and Boulder, upper 30s downtown and into Highlands Ranch. Out and about today, expect mostly sunny skies. By 11 o'clock, climbing to the low 50s and daytime highs reaching around 60 degrees. Upper 50s over Colorado Springs, 30s and 40s return to the mountains, so plenty more melting here across the metro.
Plenty of sunshine for us right now and plenty of congestion as well. You can see that from the cameras here at I-25 I-25 in University, where the sunshine is starting to affect us here down at Colorado Boulevard. And you can see some of that heavy traffic on 225 coming down from Parker Road. Earlier problems in the Denver Tech Center set us off in a bad way there. And you still see a lot of congestion on I-70. We've had a couple of problems, including a semi that was way off to the side that was being worked on to get hauled out of there. Still trying to do that, and it should be out of there just momentarily, and still looking at extra heavy traffic. We've had two problems at DIA. One, a crash just coming out after 56. Also a crash on 40th right by Pena Boulevard with still some delays in there. 270 is a bit busy. I-70 still a bit busy. Or I-25 rather, up to the north side of town as well as the west side of town. Still looking at some delays also trying to get into Inglewood with an earlier crash that we had right by River Point on that eastbound side of 285.
Crisis teams and counselors will be at a Jefferson County high school today after several students were killed in a car crash in Commerce City over the weekend.
A memorial with flowers and stuffed animals is growing at the intersection of Highway 85 and 112. Denver 7's Christian Lopez joins us from Stanley Lake High School. And Christian, 5 people were killed in that crash.
Yeah, and kids are starting to head into class right now. This is a tragic loss for classmates, teachers, and family members. We spoke to the grandfather of one of the victims who is in the hospital right now fighting for her life. Now, police say 5 people were killed in that crash Friday evening when 2 SUVs collided. 3 people survived, including Anaya Whitehorn, and her family says she suffered brain and spine injuries, 2 broken legs, and broken ribs. Her grandfather says the car she was in looked like it had fallen off a bridge, and it's a miracle she survived.
We're lucky that Anaya lived through this. There are other family members right now dealing with funeral arrangements, and I can't imagine what they're going through right now.
He says Anaya's best friend was killed in that crash. If you'd like to support the families, we do have a link to their GoFundMe pages on our website, thedenverchannel.com. Reporting live in Westminster, I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
Thank you, Christian. Also this morning, 3 people are recovering after a house party got out of control in Arapahoe County. The main floor of the home collapsed underneath the crowd.
Denver 7's Veronica Costa is here. And Veronica, these images of the chaotic situation are all over social media.
And you see one of those videos right here playing behind me. Through these images, we're seeing not only how many people were in that home, but also the moment that the floor collapsed. Take a look at this video just a bit closer. It is one of the many. You see all of those people together in a home, and then that really scary part, the collapse of the first floor into the basement. You see it there. In other similar videos, you see people trying to crawl their way out as well. We spoke with neighbors who live on East Princeton in Arapahoe County, right near the home where the collapse happened. They said they started seeing a rush of cars early Saturday morning. They weren't too concerned, though. That all changed in the morning when some law enforcement officials started showing up.
We were watching TV, and we saw something going on. You're worried it's more of a shooting going on or something like that, because my wife watched people running. I think somebody just posted the happy birthday on Instagram or something, and everybody just showed up. Yeah, not responsible.
The first floor collapse did cause a gas leak, but crews were able to shut that line off quickly. We know 3 teens were injured. One of them suffered serious injuries, and a family member did tell us the home had been in the family for about 2 decades, and they, of course, are devastated by what happened. In studio, I'm Veronica Costa, Denver 7.
Thank you, Veronica. Homeowners in Louisville are ready to sound off about the new building codes that could cost them tens of thousands of dollars. The net zero requirements went into effect in November, 1 month before the Marshall Fire destroyed hundreds of homes there, and it could hurt their ability to rebuild. Residents demonstrated against the codes outside City Hall yesterday. They want to rebuild using 2018 standards instead. City Council will consider suspending the new codes at a meeting tomorrow. Meanwhile, a star-studded concert tonight will help Marshall Fire victims, and you can listen in. Dave Matthews, One Republic, Big Head Todd and the Monsters, Nathaniel Rateliff, and others are performing a virtual fundraising concert. Tickets are $10 each, but of course, larger donations are always welcome. The live stream will start at 7 o'clock tonight, and it will be available for 24 hours.
Exclusive body camera footage shows the moment Colorado deputies swooped in to save malnourished puppies from an unlicensed breeder.
Plus, the extra security already forming at our nation's capital ahead of President Biden's State of the Union speech tomorrow.